If you think this market is a bubble ready to pop, you're in for a big surprise. And this is actually... I'm Jeremy Tolley, and you're watching KIPA. Home ownership has become a major element in achieving the American dream. Heck, for most people, owning your own home is the American dream. And prior to the 1950s, less than half of the country owned their own home. However, after World War II, many returning veterans used the benefits afforded by the GI Bill to purchase a home. And since then, the percentage of homeowners throughout the country has increased to the current rate of 65.5%. And that dream is only spreading to more Americans. Thank you for that too, veterans. In fact, the only time home values have dropped significantly was during the housing boom and bust of 2006 and 2008. Now, the current market does look a little bit like heading up towards 2006, and that may lead some people to be concerned we're about to see a similar fall in home values. But that's unlikely to happen, and to help alleviate those worries, let's take a look at what happened last time and what's happening right now. So back in 2006, foreclosures flooded the market. That drove down home values dramatically, and the two main reasons for foreclosures were, one, many purchasers were not truly qualified for the mortgage that they obtained. And two, a number of homeowners cashed in the equity of their homes. And when prices dropped, they found themselves in an underwater situation. And many of these homeowners walked away from their homes, leading to more foreclosures, and this lowered neighboring home values even more. And this cycle continued for years. So what's different? Here are two big reasons today's market is nothing like the one we experienced 15 years ago. One, today's demand for homeownership is real and not artificially generated. Running up to 2006, banks were creating artificial demand by lowering lending standards and making it easier for just about anyone to qualify for a home loan or refinance their current home. Today, purchasers and those refinancing a home face much higher standards from mortgage companies. There's always a risk when a bank loans money. However, leading up to the housing crash 15 years ago, lending institutions took on much greater risk in both the person and the mortgage product offered, which led to mass defaults, foreclosures, and falling prices. Today, the demand for homeownership is real. Lending standards are much stricter, and purchasers can afford the mortgages that they're taking on. So there's less concern about defaults. And number two, and this one is huge, people are not using their homes as ATMs like they did in the early 2000s. As mentioned above, when prices were rapidly escalating in the early 2000s, many thought it would never end, and they started to borrow against the equity in their homes to refinance new cars and boats and vacations. Even more important, it seems everyone learned from that lesson. And even as prices for everything have skyrocketed over the last few years, tappable equity has more than doubled compared to 2006. The bottom line is the major reason for the housing crash 15 years ago was a tsunami of foreclosures. And with much stricter mortgage standards and a historic level of homeowner equity, the fear of massive foreclosures impacting today's market just is not realistic.